It is important that we all understand the rights of people with disabilities. This should guide how we use our roles and responsibilities to promote the rights of people with disabilities in our country and see that these rights are upheld. This video looks briefly at these legal documents: the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, the Children's Rights Charter, the Sustainable Development Goals, and the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. These documents explain the rights of people with disabilities and affirm both the humanity and dignity of people with disabilities. They are useful tools to use in holding parties accountable for the implementation of rights. Together, these documents form the foundation of advocacy, including the steps and actions we take on behalf of people with disabilities. Let us start with the most important law of South Africa, the Constitution of South Africa. It is founded on the values of human dignity, equality, the progress of human rights, non-racism, and non-sexism. It sets out the rules and responsibilities of all citizens. The Constitution is the starting point for all policies and laws in South Africa, and no other law may conflict with it, nor may the government do anything that violates it. Here is an example. The Promotion of Equality and Prevention of Unfair Discrimination Act 4 of 2000. It promotes equality and lays out measures to facilitate, for example, the removal of unfair discrimination, hate speech, and harassment on the grounds of race, gender, or disability. The Bill of Rights is part of the Constitution. It lays out the rights of all people in South Africa and includes, among others, the rights to life, freedom, and security, the right to education, freedom of association, personal privacy, and housing. The second document is the Children's Rights Charter. This document is special because children played a big part in drawing it up. The main idea in this document is that children are whole human beings, each with different needs. At a meeting in 1992, 200 children in South Africa met to discuss the problems they face. The Children's Charter of South Africa was drawn up at the end of the summit. This document states the importance of children being given the opportunity to be heard in all matters that affected them. Rights included the right to have a place to live. All children should be cared for when sick and should be able to grow up with love, affection, and security. Thirdly, the Sustainable Development Goals. The member states of the United Nations set in place 17 goals to end poverty, promote peace, share wealth, and protect the planet by 2030. The United Nations is a place where all countries of the world come together to try to agree how to make the world a better and safer place for everyone. These goals help countries to achieve a more sustainable future for all people, and especially for those who are the most marginalized, to make sure that no one is left behind. One such group is people with disabilities. Because South Africa is a member state of the United Nations, it uses these goals as a guide in designing its policies and actions for the next few years. Included are goals and targets to ensure everybody has equal opportunities and access to inclusive education and employment all through their lives. Lastly, we want to highlight the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. The convention is about human rights for persons with disabilities. In the convention, the United Nations has made an agreement between states that persons with disabilities have the same rights as persons who do not have disabilities. The convention was made because sometimes persons with disabilities do not get their rights. By signing the convention, South Africa has agreed to try and make sure persons with disabilities in South Africa get their rights, for example, the right to education. You may have realized that these documents are all very similar and support each other in achieving the same core values and ideas. We highlighted these documents to show you that the inclusion of people with disabilities, including children with disabilities, is and should be in the future a most important matter both in South Africa and internationally. The full versions of all these documents are available for the public. There are also easy read versions which make it easier for people to read and understand the difficult words and complex ideas written about in the documents.